Hey everyone, it's Epic Worlds PCG, and in this video I'm showing you a new Gnome game. So I plan to extend this series quite a bit, but this is a new game. I actually planned this quite a while ago. I made the paper version, and then I was in study hall one time and I found out that you could work on the computers that had like a little pen. So I started doing some actual like cool art for this stuff. I'm gonna try to get a pen for my computer so I can make more games like this that look a little bit better, colored in covers and stuff like this. But this is my Gnome game. So Zach just did an epic video, which I'll leave a link in the description. It basically explains the whole Gnome saga, so it'll fill you in on all the lore and stuff. So really well done by him. But this game, unlike the other ones, this one just explores like a spider, which the spider has basically appeared in every Gnome game. Well, not all of them, but pretty much all of them. And yeah, he just keeps reappearing, and people are like, well, we gotta like come up with a name and maybe expand on this character. And this game will basically explore his hatred for the gnomes and why he always wants to attack him. So the first part of this game this game kind of takes place over like his lifetime. So the first part is like way back, kind of like early gnome days, and then there's like future and stuff like that. So the first part is pretty much when warrior gnomes were around and they were killing trolls. They were also hunting spiders too. So the first part is just a little comic. You can't really play it. I mean, you can if you want to try, but just a little comic. So up here, you see the gnome. And yeah, this is it, or no, not the gnome. You see, this is a gnome, but this is the spider's brother. I don't have a name for it, but if you guys want to put a name on him for the wiki or stuff, you can. Again, you can make sequels to this game. I'd love to see more gnome spider games. That'd be epic. But yeah, so this is so the normal spider, like the one from the main cover, is right over here. You just can't see him, but he's watching a spider getting attacked by a gnome, and he gets killed. So he's like, "No, brother!" So that kind of sparks his rage for the gnomes, because he was very young at that, and it kind of ingrained it into his head that these gnomes are evil. So he's like, "Time to get my revenge." This is a few years later, and yeah, and then this is quite a few years later. This is the gnome king, and this is what happened to the old king. So before, so you know how like the hat was lost? This is how it was lost. The spider killed the like OG gnome king, and yeah, that is how gnome found it. In we still don't have a name for the main character of the gnome series, but that is how the main gnome found the hat. It was killed, it was lost from this normal king who used to have it. So now we get a little lore. Ever since the gnomes killed Algrator's brother, and Algrator is the main character, he has made it his mission to hunt gnomes down. So, yeah, as you can see, he's becoming very enraged. So this is like the first playable screen. So you got Algrator right here. You got two warrior gnomes who have a dead spider in a basket. So it shows that they're hunting spiders. He sees this. He's in the cover of some bushes, but he gets very mad. So you got to use your sneaky spider tactics to kill these guys. And it is nighttime, so you do have some night cover, so you can possibly sneak around on this tree and hop down on them or do something like that. So yeah, that's the main screen. You then got this one. Algrator sees them burning a bunch of, or about to burn a big pile of spiders they killed. And that is how Algrator, like, you don't really see like other spiders in the game, or at least from the planet the gnomes are from, which I do plan to explain where the gnomes are from, like what planet there is or what area of the PCG universe they're from. But yeah, that they killed off most of the spiders back then. So Algrator is very mad. He's like the strongest of them all, so he doesn't get killed as easily. He's like, you grew from rage. So he basically became like 50 times his size. And this is a few years later. You attacked Gnome Air headquarters. So if you know how the Gnome Air headquarters was abandoned, that's because it was basically Algrator took down all Gnome Air bases back then. Of course they rebuilt in the future, but that is why you saw that abandoned one in Gnome, I believe 2, which was my sequel to the Gnome game. So yeah, and then there's a little house down there with a gnome like and a little graffiti, which isn't good. But yeah, he's basically just destroying this Gnome Air headquarters. That was the whole PCG. I will release it on the shop as soon as I can. I'm still working on a bunch of other PCGs. And I still got to wiki a ton others, but as soon as I can, I will get this on the shop. Although you can't really play it too much mainly just like for the lore and a story. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.